Hello friends, thank you for joining me on this video. Today I want to talk about not wearing makeup. And specifically, so there are plenty of videos out there on the benefits of not wearing makeup and lots of stories of these beautiful girls who have decided to ditch makeup for good or for mostly good. And so I kind of wanted to add to that conversation by sharing some mindset shifts that for me personally help me continue to resist the pressure to paint your face every day. Now, I do want to preface this by saying that there's nothing wrong with makeup. If a girl chooses to wear makeup, if that feels empowering to her, then so be it. That's wonderful. And I understand that makeup can be a beautiful art form and a way that people get to express themselves and express their creativity, which is a beautiful thing. And I'm also not for telling women what they should or shouldn't do. I understand that everyone is on their own life journey, and we're all discovering our own truths. So to each their own. However, if you clicked on this video, then there's probably something in you that knows that that makeup, it's a scam. It can become something that is very toxic. It absolutely warps our image of ourselves, of our own beauty, and our perception of reality. And so in that way, I think it's very harmful. But I'm assuming you've already made the decision that you don't want to wear makeup every day. Perhaps you want to reserve it for special occasions, for parties, for weddings, for special things, or just days when where you feel a little extra creative in that way, but not for everyday use. And I think that's a very empowering thing. Personally, I have never been a makeup girl. I remember in middle school that all my friends were getting into it, and I remember being very, very against it in middle school. Now I'm not so much against it, but I am personally, for me, making the choice not to wear makeup every day. I don't feel the need to wear makeup every day. I am perfectly able to go about my life, go out in the world, go to work, go to school, go to the grocery store, go shopping, and I'm very grateful to say that I feel very confident in my bare skin and my bare face. But I do understand that it's not easy. And for a lot of us, especially if you are one of those girlies who have been wearing makeup every day, you're probably at a point where you're used to your face with these cosmetics on it, and you're not familiar with your face without them. And so it's not easy. And I understand that. And I want to respect that and give you the tools and it's all mental. This whole game of life is mental, but specifically this game of trying to be beautiful and conforming to the current beauty standards, it's all mental. So the best tools I feel that I can give you are these mental perspective shifts. So that's what I want this video to be about. Number 1, less is more. Less is more. And truly it is. And in fact, I think even within makeup, this is becoming very self-evident. The no makeup looks are all the rage these days, and very, very minimal things. So we're just taking this to its logical conclusion of the best form of no makeup. Makeup is actually no makeup. So yes, but for me personally, I feel very drawn to minimalism as a lifestyle, just being very intentional with all of the things that we own and all of the products that we choose to wear, to consume, to put on our face, to put on our bodies, and makeup is part of this. So for me, less is more. I love being a minimalist. Number 2 mindset is, I like to look at it from the perspective that my face is the culmination of the genetic traits of my ancestors who survived to pass them along. It's a beautiful thing to think about how our faces tell the story of our, ancestry, of our genetic history, of the different parts of the world where we come from, and that is not something to hide or to be ashamed of. In proudly showing off your facial features, you can kind of give a tribute to your ancestors, again, the ones who survived, to pass on their genetics. What a beautiful thing to pay tribute to them by proudly wearing your face. Different things to celebrate is the amount of melanin in your skin tells where in the world your ancestors came from, how much sun exposure they had to adapt to. Maybe your eye color or your eye shape. Lighter eyes versus darker eyes, again related to the sun. Your lashes and your brows. All of this is conjecture. We're not really, I don't think, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think scientists really know for sure that these were genetic adaptations to these certain things. But But yeah, some say that like if your ancestors evolved in the desert, you might have much thicker lashes and thicker brows to like protect your face and your eyes from the sand. If you have straight lashes that curved downwards, my lashes are really straight and they actually curve downwards. That is again like useful lashes are ones like, because if your lashes are designed to keep stuff out of your eyes, like them being shaped slightly down makes more sense for them to like, protect your eyes from dust and stuff. So celebrate that, that your lashes are actually useful. I mean, lashes that are curved up, of course, we know are beautiful, but they're not really protecting stuff from your eyes. The width of your nose, the width or narrowness of your nose may have to do with the heat and humidity that your ancestors had to adapt to. For me, just a personal note, if you look at me face on, you might not be able to tell. Perhaps you can, but often from the side, and often if I have my hair pulled back straight or in a tight bun, I'm often mistaken for being Asian. I am not Asian. I am half Mexican, actually, but that there's a lot of Mexicans, like my family in Mexico, they are often, considered chinos, or they look Asian looking. And this is something that is so beautiful to me, because in my face, there are hints of this indigenous ancestry that I have. And personally, I am so proud to carry. I am so proud to, in my ancestry, we are descended from the Mayan lineage, the Mayan civilization. And I think that is a beautiful thing that I get to celebrate on my face. I'm also half white, so there are Caucasian features that don't feel the need to hide or mask any of that. So yeah, perspective number 2 is how your facial features just honor your ancestors with your beautiful and unique facial features. Mindset number 3, we know that makeup and especially like the cheap brands, they have known carcinogens in them. Some products have known endocrine disruptors that, wreak havoc on our hormones and whatnot. These chemicals that you're putting on your face are just really not good for your health. Okay, a 4th mindset shift. It's interesting to think about, what if the playing field was leveled? In other words, what if makeup had never been invented? It's interesting to think about, and of course it's impossible. Like, it would never happen. Makeup is here to stay. It's never going to be banned. And of course, in our human evolution, I think it is like the use of, probably like dark pigments around our eyes was probably the first makeup product ever invented. And that is ancient. I don't want to say prehistoric, but pretty darn close to prehistoric times that we've been applying, stuff to our face. And bodies for different reasons. So humans are creative and humans are innovative, and it was bound to happen that in our evolution, we would come across how putting stuff on our face would make us more or less attractive, depending on whatever tribe and geography we are at. But pretend that it was never invented. Pretend that there was no makeup anywhere, not even on TV, social media. Celebrities didn't have makeup, our superstars, our idols, our models, none of it. Makeup was never invented. Just do a thought experiment. Pretend that's the case. Now, rank yourself among how beautiful or not you think you are. And again, it's not about comparison. I'm not promoting us to compare ourselves with one another. However, just for a thought experiment, it's fun to think about, because that's a thing. That's why makeup is so toxic and it warps our view of reality as women, is because we are comparing ourselves to these literally unattainable, fake, unrealistic standards, not only with makeup, but also with lighting, with angles, with filters, with airbrushing, and all these techniques that we have to that like modeling agencies, or even just your regular Instagram model, that they use to fabricate this image. It is literally not real. And yet we look at these images and we're like, wow, she's so pretty, she's so beautiful, I want to be like her. But it's not even real. And so just pretend that it never existed. Now, if that were the case, yes, there are obviously genetic differences between us. We all have different facial features, and some of them are considered more beautiful than others. That is the way it is. However, if makeup didn't exist, if the playing field was leveled, you wouldn't actually be that ugly, I would guarantee you. And you wouldn't see yourself as ugly. Next one, number 5, I guess, is I like to think of being confident in my bare skin and my bare face as almost an act of rebellion. It's a rebellious thing to be confident in who you are naturally in a world that is trying so hard to convince you you're not enough. In a world in that, like, thousands, hundreds, billions, actually, billions. The beauty industry is a billion-dollar industry. Billions of dollars are spent and earned through exploiting the insecurities of women. Every day that I go out and choose to enjoy and love myself and think myself as beautiful without influence of that is rebellious. And I know there are plenty of you rebellious girlies out there. We will not fall prey to these unachievable beauty standards. We will not jump on the next trendy bandwagon of what is in. We will not. We will love ourselves exactly as we are. We will see ourselves as beautiful. We will embrace the features that we have. Yeah, because these beauty standards are a moving target. They're changing. They change every couple of years. They are many times literally unattainable. And they are not real. They're literally not real. We made them up. We as humans, again, creative, innovative humans, we made up. And all cultures, have different what they consider to be beautiful in different time periods and different geographical locations. So it's literally made up. It's literally not real. It is a fabrication of our human imagination, society, creation, right? However, what I do want to say is that health markers are real. Again, as I've mentioned in my previous videos, we are biological creatures and we have this innate drive to reproduce with the highest best chances, with the best genetic disposition and the best safety and security, blah, blah, blah. So that is real. And one of the best ways that we scout, which is going to be best mates, and this bleeds into other areas of our lives, even not mating, like even in workplace and even in our friends, et cetera, we're very visual creatures is my point. And we are genetically, biologically so. So markers of health are real. Like, for example, facial symmetry or even body symmetry is a marker of good health. Clear skin, healthy, even-toned skin is a marker of good health. So that is why the foundation of real beauty is actually good health. So instead of pouring all your time, money, and energy in cosmetics and procedures, I would just pour all that time, money, and energy in building good health. That includes exercise, that includes healthy whole foods, that includes sleep, that includes lack of stress, that includes emotional regulation. That is what we as women should be focusing on. Next mindset I like to think of is that I'm wearing my features as art. As again, it's related to the ancestry one, but in this way, it's more of like my life, more of like the story of who I am, unfiltered, raw, and authentic. Knowing that there is literally not another Sarah. There's not another genetic combination that creates me, and there never has been and there never will be. Like, I am unique, absolutely unique in my genetic expression. Like, why would I cover that up, and why would I try to become just another carbon copy of what is considered beautiful these days? And that's another thing. It's honestly very eerie to me and I genuinely can't tell them, the Jenners, Kendall, Kylie, whatever, or and I don't even know, the Kardashians, I literally can't tell them apart. They all look the same to me. And then there's a million other models that do their makeup in the same way, a million other influencers. I literally cannot tell them apart. I could if I tried, if I wanted to pay attention to whatever, but that's ridiculous. No, I'd rather just be my authentic self. Show up in the world like this is me. This is me. Next one is to realize that life is so much more than how you look. I know that this is kind of hard for us women because, unfortunately, if we're going to compare women and men, our looks do matter a little bit more than how men look. But actually, that's probably debatable. At least in the dating world, how men and women look is probably the most important thing, unfortunately. Again, we're visual creatures, whatever. However, it's especially important for women, and so looks do matter, again, and let it be coming from a foundation of health. Like, how healthy you are and how that shows up in the way you look does matter and is going to influence your life, but only in a very slight way, and really only as much as you let it. That's the key. Is your looks only matter in your life and the quality of your life as much as you allow them to. Regardless of how you look, you're able to live a life full of things you love, things you enjoy, foods you enjoy, your hobbies that you like. You're able to be creative. You're able to create art. You're able to create stories, write poems, become the next scientific genius, the next mathematical genius. You're able to love and be loved regardless of how you look. So the point is, life is so much more than how you look. And in fact, it's fleeting, it fades. Of course, we're all going to get older. So placing your value and your worth and the value of your life solely on how you look is a recipe for disaster and is literally not even true. It's not true. Life is so much more. Now, I don't know how many of you watching this video might be a little more spiritual, we'll say. And this may sound a little woo-woo to those who are not, but I'm just going to say the quote, maybe put it up on the screen and leave it as that. But it's something that's very comforting to me. This quote is from A Course in Miracles, which is a spiritual teachings book. Nothing real can be threatened, and nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God. Next one, if I kind of think of, it's comforting to think of that if someone has a problem with the way you look, if you are less than beautiful to someone, that is a them problem, not a you problem, because they're the ones that have to look at you. You know what I mean? It's kind of funny to flip the script in that way. If someone says you're ugly, like if someone calls me ugly, I can be like, oh, that's me. I can like internalize that criticism. Or I can be like, I'm very sorry that you're the one that has to look at that. You know what I mean? It's funny. It's not really true. It's not really real, but it's a fun little mindset. That's a them problem, not a you problem. Next thing I'll say is to focus more on the people that you observe in real life, the people that you have real interactions with. And most likely these people may not be the ones that are all done up every single day. Like your family, your friends, your sisters, your brothers, the people you interact with at the store, the people you observe in the street. Some of them are the kinds you'll see that do their makeup every day, but some of them are not. And on those that are not, the real people with real faces and real lives in real life, observe them, look at them, see how beautiful they are without makeup. See their uniqueness, see the way they carry themselves, see the other things that attracts you to these beautiful people that is not their looks. My point is focus on the people you can observe in real life. Remind yourself what it is to be a real, living, breathing human with real emotions and, you're not a static image. You're a real being and the people around you are real being. And how beautiful that is. Look with eyes of beauty at the real people around you. Next one, authenticity is insanely attractive. Fakeness is not. Next thing I kind of like to think about is how the people that really, really need heavy makeup, like for example, drag queens, which nothing against them. Like, hey, that's awesome. That's a fun hobby. That's a great thing, whatever. No hate, no shade whatsoever. But drag queens, for example, tend to be the ones that need heavy, heavy doses of makeup. And if you are a feminine woman who, without a single drop of makeup, is very recognizably feminine, very recognizably a woman, celebrate that. Celebrate that you don't need 2 tons of makeup to look like a girl, that you are naturally a beautiful girl. Next one is I really think, sometimes, not always, but sometimes I think that makeup genuinely makes people look older. Here's, I think a good example is, what's her name? The Enola Holmes girl. Yeah, Millie Bobby Brown. I really see this on her. But also Ariana Grande a little, but she almost never does not wear makeup. But I don't know, with a lot of celebrities and also with people in real life, also myself, I think that it's real, when we put on makeup, we just aged ourselves 10 years. Yeah, so youthfulness is attractive and makeup makes you look much more mature. And so, yeah, take that how you will. Next one, back to the fleeting, inachievable beauty standards. They are constantly changing. And so what you can do, this point, is that you can decide for yourself what you consider to be beautiful, and regardless of the changing, fluctuating beauty standards that are trendy, right? And what I propose is that you can choose that your own facial features are actually really beautiful. And if you look through history, if you look through different parts of the world, most likely, whatever facial features you have or whatever features you're insecure about were once considered beautiful. So some examples is, let's say, okay, your brows. Brows are a good one. Say you don't like that you have really thin, sparse brows. Well, guess what? That was really in the 90s. Also, some people bleach their brows because they don't like the overpowering look of their thick, manly, masculine brows. Say you're insecure about your nose, like the Roman nose was once considered to be a mark of power and nobility. I mean, it's called a Roman nose. Large foreheads were considered beautiful during the Renaissance era. You'll see lots of paintings and portraits of these women with their hairlines like way back. If you're insecure about like dark circles around or under your eyes, that is also considered to be very beautiful. I think of heroin chic aesthetic, tuberculosis. I'll link a video down below that was an interesting rabbit trail about that. Big voluminous hair. I know these days like sleek, straight, pin hair tends to be like what's considered beautiful and what all the girls want to do. But remember back in the 80s, not that long ago, big voluminous hair was all the rage. That was considered beautiful. And for me personally, I mean, my hair journey has been quite a journey. But Julia Roberts is a huge inspiration for me for just the way she wore her hair, however it needed to be worn that day. Effortless, let it do its thing. So you see what I mean? So whatever it is that you're insecure about, you can probably find some culture somewhere that thought it was beautiful. If you think you're too white, too pale, that's considered beautiful in some countries. If the different shape of your eyes, very unique. If you have really, really big eyes, or if they're too spread apart, that can be considered ethereal, and like angelic. So embrace that. More narrow eyes are considered, focused and driven. Whatever it is, just choose to love whatever it is that you have. Yeah, and this is an act of resistance against the human tendency to want whatever you don't have. The grass is greener on the other side kind of thing. Next one for me personally is I just refuse to believe that you can only look put together if you wear makeup. I just say no to that. For me, I focus on skincare. Again, good health is the foundation of your beauty. So many of us struggle with acne. I've recently seen a dermatologist and try to get that under control. But good skincare, that leads to a polished look. A good outfit, a good, well-together, harmonious outfit. Tidy hair, tidy nails, keep those fresh and clean. That looks put together. And jewelry can help give you that little touch of that extra polished look. These are the things I personally focus on rather than makeup. And of course, there is so much more that lends to our beauty than just literally the way we look, like static picture, photo, the way we look. A lot of our beauty has to do with the way we carry ourselves, the way we present ourselves, the way we move, our confidence, radiating. For me personally, part of being beautiful is being a safe space for others, is the way others feel when they're around me, more than just how I look, much more than how I look. What matters to me more is the way people feel. Do they feel safe enough to be their true, authentic self? And if I am my true, authentic self, I think that lends to other people feeling like they can be themselves around you. I like to focus on the essence of femininity, of, again, that warmth, that welcoming environment, that safe space, that nurturing space. I like to focus on the way I speak and the way I move, the choice of words that I use, the language I choose to use. We definitely know girls that, wear a full face of makeup, have their nails done every week, have their hair extensions and all this stuff, but come across very masculine, come across very harsh and competitive and forceful. Again, it's a free world and they can choose to be that way. But I, as a woman who wants to be a soft and feminine woman, don't consider that very beautiful or very attractive, despite their 10 pounds of makeup. Next thought is I personally gain a lot of inspiration from the men in my life, my husband, my brother, my dad, who put pretty much zero effort into their looks. Like they might maybe wash their face in the mornings and that is it. And they have really great complexions, really great skin, and their facial features are perfectly acceptable, harmonious. They are good looking men and they do literally nothing to achieve that. So I gain inspiration from them. The next one is to stop the performance. I tell myself there is no need to perform. Who are you performing for? You have nothing to prove to anyone. You don't need to wear makeup to prove that you're polished, to prove that you're put together, to prove that you're beautiful. You don't need to perform. You don't need to act. You can just be. You can just be. That is the essence of femininity, is to just be, to be present, to be in the moment, and to be authentic. So stop the performance. Next one is to let your self-care, because again, I'm not advocating against taking care of yourself. You very much should. You should take pride in how you look and how you present yourself to the world. The whole point of this video is that you don't need makeup though. That's it. So when you do your self-care, let it come from a place of self-love and self-respect. Like, I am worthy of being taken care of. I am worthy of the best quality skincare products. I am worthy of those extra 10 minutes in the morning to, I don't know, do your gua sha. I am worthy of exercising. I am worthy of looking good. I am worthy of being fit. I love myself enough to take care of this beautiful temple that I get to live in as I have this human experience. Not from a place of, oh, I'm ugly like this, or, oh, I need to correct that, or I don't like this, I don't like that. No, you're not trying to hide. You're not trying to change who you are. Your self-care comes from a place of self-love and self-respect. Your face is not a problem to be fixed. Your face is not a problem at all. Okay, so one thing I do want to say as I close out this video is that with these things, like these mindsets that I personally adopt, that I'm sharing with you, of what helps me be more confident without makeup, what we're not doing here is we're not disqualifying other people's beauty. That this really irks me too. Like, on the flip side is like, because again, I'm saying, like, imagine, how the world would be if nobody had makeup and nobody had cosmetic surgery. It's fun to think about, but what I'm not doing is I'm not going to mentally belittle other people's beauty if they do wear makeup or if they have had work done. First of all, it's none of my business and I don't care. Like, I should see them as a soul, regardless of whatever they look like on the outside, right? But it has nothing to do with them. That's the thing, is like, what they choose to do on their temple, on their body, on their face, how they choose to wear makeup, the clothes they choose to wear, has no bearing on me and my life, and I do not care. What can happen is, out of insecurity, a lot of girls feel the need to disqualify other people's beauty by saying, like, oh, she only looks good with makeup, or she only looks good because she got that liposuction, or whatever, just disqualifying. And that is not what we're here to do. We are not here to tear down other women or to make ourselves feel better by tearing down other women. So no. I hope you understand, you get what I'm saying here. The whole point is that I am confident and secure in myself, that I don't need to even look or care about what other girls do with their bodies. And lastly, there are two not mindsets, actually things that you can do to continue to embrace how you look naturally without makeup. And one is to limit the amount of beauty consumption content that you watch, that you consume. Again, because this warps our view, this warps our vision. I would say follow people that maybe don't wear makeup every day, that do every once in a while show up barefaced, or like influencers that don't care about beauty standards at all. I don't know. I have my favorites. So follow people that embrace aging naturally. And lately I find that I've been drawn to content creators that are older than I am, maybe in their 40s, 50s, 60s. I've been interested in gaining their wisdom and their perspective on life. Yeah. And listen to like celebrities that don't wear makeup and, or are, brave enough to show up to the Met Gala, barefaced, or celebrities that have thoughts on aging gracefully, like Cameron Diaz is a great example. Drew Barrymore also. Audrey Hepburn, I love her quotes on real beauty, how it comes from within. I love Julie Andrews and her take on aging. Gosh, she's almost like 90, I think now. So just to watch what you consume and to actively, look for role models digitally that have a healthy view of beauty and aging. And the last one is to do some mirror work. Really, because again, a lot of this problem, the reason why we feel insecure without makeup is because we're used to our face with makeup, right? And so take some time, take some minutes when you're doing your skincare in the morning and at night, or throughout the day, just look at yourself and tell yourself, this is me. I am beautiful. Look at yourself barefaced. Study your features. One thing that I did a couple years ago that like totally transformed my perspective of myself is it was like back, do you guys remember when like the AI images were first the rage and people were, generating AI images of themselves? When I did this, I was like, wow, it is so interesting to me. Like I'd never looked at my face because I was thinking about what about my face the AI picked up to generate this image, right? In its like mathematical computer calculations. It was like, wow, I never noticed my eyes are actually that shape. I never noticed that my face is different, like from the side profile to like straight on profile. It's different and it gives different feelings. And anyways, so look at yourself, make eye contact with yourself and tell yourself how beautiful you are, how grateful you are. Thank your skin for allowing you to do what it does. Thank you, skin, for communicating with me. Thank you, eyes. Eyes, you are beautiful. Thank you for allowing me to perceive the world around me. Nose, thank you. I love being able to smell delicious food cooking. Thank you. Nose, I love you. Lips, how beautiful. You allow me to speak. You allow me to eat. You allow me to do all the wonderful things that beautiful lips do. Thank your face, love your skin, and speak to yourself in this way. Thank you, ladies, so much, probably ladies, watching this video. I'm going to link some videos, some related content, some of my favorite videos down below, an interesting article on historical beauty trends, and other things I find interesting. Feel free to check out that below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.